Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. Today we're diving into a topic that has a big impact on the future of White County. One of the items on the ballot for this year's primary election is E-SPLOST. So we're joined today by White County's new superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Stribling, to break it all down. What E-SPLOST is, how it supports our schools without raising property taxes, and why business leaders, families, and the community as a whole should understand what's at stake. Whether you're a parent, an employer, or just a voter looking to make an informed decision, this conversation is packed with insight. So grab your coffee and let's dive in.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Chamber Chicks. I'm Beth.
And I'm Kayla.
And we're back with Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. And joining us today is our school superintendent, our new school superintendent. We're so excited, Dr. Jonathan Stribling, who comes to us with a wealth of knowledge and experience. And we're going to talk about E-SPLOST today. But Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be back in White County. A lot of people don't know this, but I taught here like 20 years ago and then had the opportunity to go and do some other things and then came back. But the cool thing is I lived here the whole time. So I just love White County, and it's great to be back working in this community where I live and go to church and buy groceries and all the things. So I'm super excited to be here.
Love it so much. And you guys all know, those of you who consume the Coffee Break podcast often, we are huge cheerleaders of our school system. Love our system, love our teachers, love our administration. It's probably one of the best partners we have of all the stakeholders. We absolutely love our school system. So we're here to talk about E-SPLOST and what that is. I know we come to you guys, especially during the legislative session, with a lot of crazy acronyms, and here we are with you.
It's just alphabet soup up in here, honestly.
It's not new. It's not new. This is a 1% sales tax on consumable goods that funds our school system. But Dr. Stribling, let's just to help our business owners understand about school funding. How does E-SPLOST play into the whole fabric of how our school system is funded?
Yeah, so I appreciate the question. So E-SPLOST is Educational Special Local Option Sales Tax. So our school system is the sole beneficiary of E-SPLOST funds. And the most simple way to explain it is E-SPLOST is for capital asset attainment and improvement, is what I like to say. And so then the next question is, what are capital assets in the school system, right? So capital assets for us include buildings, like in the 2020 E-SPLOST, the Performing Arts Center was built.
Which we appreciate. We've been able to use it a couple of times and absolutely love it.
And it was built as not only a school facility, but a community facility for the community to use, and that happens. So I'm super pleased with that. You know, other capital assets include school buses. They include kitchen equipment, right? People don't think about that. We run 6 restaurants, in our 6 schools every day that serve a lot of people. We can also purchase some curriculum materials with E-SPLOST funds and safety and security enhancements. Our panic button system that we have, the strategic system, we were able to purchase that with E-SPLOST funds. So that's E-SPLOST really allows school systems to stay on a continuum of improvement, which is really great, and not just land in survival mode and stay there. Yeah. And I think that's the easiest way to describe how E-SPLOST benefits us. So it's a great funding source for the school system to be able to improve.
And I love what you said about the Performing Arts Center, because I think a lot of people saw it coming up and thought, oh my gosh, this is huge, and what do we need this for? The community uses it often. It is the only facility in White County of its kind, and it does lend itself well to a whole lot of things. We're able to bring in much bigger speakers for events that we have because we have the seating capacity. So
yeah, that's right. I'm glad that you use it. Our local colleges and universities have used it for different things. We've hosted other concerts and things there from various other entities. So it's fan. We've hosted a movie night there on Memorial Day last year. That was a real special night. That was a patriotic themed movie, and just lots and lots of things happened there. And another thing to mention about our Performing Arts Center is all of our schools use it.
Yes.
Not just the high school. Of course, it's on the high school campus, but all of our schools take advantage of the Performing Arts Center.
And I love that y'all can use it for before the school year gets kicked off and bringing all your teachers together, having your orientation for the new, staff members, because where else could you fit all those people in such a good space? So
that's right. Thank you. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's great. It's a great large gathering place. Again, not just for our school system, but for our community.
Absolutely. So what sort of, you talked about the types of things that E-SPLOST covers. What sort of things are y'all looking at specifically for this upcoming E-SPLOST in terms of projects or improvements?
Yeah, so the next E-SPLOST is going to be a little different. The one that's currently on the ballot now is going to be spent a little differently in the sense of it's not going to have the one signature project like the Performing Arts Center. Instead, I'm going to make certain that it is spread among all of the schools and improve all of the schools. For example, in that E-SPLOST budget, I have $500,000 budgeted for every playground, every elementary school playground. And if you have elementary school students, then you know our playgrounds need some updating, and we will be able to do that well. Furniture, kitchen equipment, things like that benefit all, go across the schools. Now, there are some larger projects that are going to be included in this E-SPLOST that I like to talk about. The first one is a complete gut of Jack P. Nix Elementary School. And Jack P. Nix Elementary School is 38 years old.
Right.
Jack P. Nix, if you went in Jack P. Nix 30 years ago and you go in it today, there's not a lot of difference. So I'm very excited if we were speaking in residential terms, I would use the term gut and remodel of Jack P. Nix Elementary School. So I'm very excited about that. Another item that will be addressed in the next E-SPLOST is the traffic and parking at Mount Yona Elementary School. That's another large project. If you have ever seen afternoon traffic at Mount Yona,
that car rider line.
Yes, that's exactly right. And the vast majority of those moms and dads are having to stay on Duncan Bridge, right? We're very, very fortunate in the school system that we have acquired 2 pieces of property adjacent to Mount Yona Elementary School, and we are going to be able to, with architects helping us construct new parking and get more of our cars on Duncan Bridge on our campus, staged on campus to pick up, which is just a safety issue.
Yeah.
That will be a much, much better. We can make that car rider pick up and drop off safer at Mount Yona Elementary School. We certainly need to do that. Another project that's going to be of sort of the larger scope in this E-SPLOST will be a reconfiguration of the entrance at White County High School. And right now, White County High School is pretty much an open campus. It has 2 entrances, and it's fairly open. We're going to reconfigure that, and it will have 1 entrance that will come in by a security guardhouse to make sure, in 2026, the high school landscape's a little different.
It is.
And we need to secure our campus and make sure everybody that comes on campus drives by a security guard on the way in, and states their business and those types of things there. And then also with that, we're going to include an access road that will kind of run where the tennis courts are now that are in front of the high school to link up to be able to go up to the school so we don't have to drive through our parking lots. Right now, the only way to get to the school from the north entrance is to drive through our student parking lots where you have lots of pedestrians, lots of student drivers. And we want to remedy that and separate out those. So again, just safety enhancements. With that will come new tennis courts, which will kind of complete the athletic complex. And our high school's in desperate need of new tennis courts. In fact, the tennis matches we are hosting now. We're working with Truett McConnell University, and they're working with us to be able to use theirs. So I'm very, very happy to kind of complete the athletic complex and get our tennis courts. Will be new and kind of sit back behind the softball field, which was an original part of those drawings there. So that's not new. It just hasn't been completed. So that'll complete that project. Another project that will come with this E-SPLOST will be either a renovation or construct new of agriculture education facilities. And we're excited about that. We've had, we've seen athletic facilities, we've seen fine arts facilities, and our agriculture education facility. I was teaching here when it was built the first time, so it was about 20 years ago when it was built the first time. So I'm excited to be able to update the facilities for our agri-science students, which is a great program.
Which is
in our
exceptional. Even if our kids don't end up going into agriculture, the experience that they get through that, we use that program in our workforce development for other industries beyond agriculture. I mean, certainly heavily depend on them for ag, but they help address skills in construction, life skills even. I mean, your CTAE programs at the high school are foundational for the success of our economy here, and I can't thank you enough for those. And investing in those programs is
Yeah, and I appreciate that. A couple of points related to that. One, I just think of when you talk about agriculture education is when you ask a principal in a high school with a great agriculture education program, when you ask them if you say, I need a public speaker, they're going to go to the ag program oftentimes and get one because they just teach great leadership skills in that program in addition to the pragmatic agricultural activities that they do. But our CTAE program is certainly a highlight for us, but I want everyone to know that E-SPLOST supports CTAE.
Absolutely.
To keep CTAE teachers relevant, they require constant updating of equipment and constant updating of curriculum materials and things like that because things change.
Yeah, you can't teach real world things if you're not,
if you're 10 years behind with your equipment.
Not in the real world.
That's right. And that equipment that is purchased for those labs that keep those programs relevant are largely funded through E-SPLOST.
Sure. Amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
May matters. Only a small number of Georgians pick our elected leaders. Georgia primaries in May decide who will appear on your November ballot, but few voters even participate. Help us change that. See what's on your ballot, find out where to vote, and make plans to cast your vote. Early voting is open until May 15th. The primary election is on May 19th. Visit whitecountyga.gov to view sample ballots, check your voting location, and more. So our podcast is really aimed toward business owners, and they're the ones collecting this tax every day. So how does our E-SPLOST impact our businesses directly? And what's the return that they can see on this 1% investment?
The first thing I would say is in a community like White County that is a relatively smaller community, I think it's imperative that the school system and the business community work in concert with each other. I think that is super, super important, and I'm very proud that I feel that way. I feel like that.
I'm very proud that you feel that way.
In our community,
there are a lot of communities that do not function like that.
That's right, and I just think it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, for a school system to be better than the community that supports it. We have to have great support for our kids.
That goes both ways.
Yes, ma'am. And we are very, very happy.
Aren't
So let's talk about how we support the business community. I think that's important. In my view, our role in the economic development of White County is to graduate seniors ready for life after high school. Whether that means going straight into the workforce, whether that means going to technical college, traditional college, or in the military, whatever the choices are, our students need to be ready and they need to be prepared. I think E-SPLOST allows us to provide modern facilities for our students. They allow us to provide modern curriculum, modern technology, modern laboratories that produce a higher quality graduate that eventually stays in White County, works in White County, and we're all are great citizens along with us. So I think that's our role in the whole thing. I think E-SPLOST, again, provides schools a way to improve. And one thing that you'll learn about me as superintendent, there are really two things. One is I put kids first. I put students first every time. And sometimes that can be very, very difficult to put students first and cause me to make some very tough choices, but I'm very proud to do it. The second thing is I think our students in White County deserve as good or better than any kids in the state. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And our community since 1998 has supported E-SPLOST. Our community, I think, believes that too.
Yes.
And so I'm very, very proud to be here and very, very proud to support our business owners by producing quality graduates. And also the other thing that happens is I want our school system to attract people to our community to do business, right? When families are looking for places to move, what they look at are the schools. And I'm very, very proud of our schools. But, you know, you don't want people driving around seeing old rundown school buses. Right. You know, when families see that, they think, I don't know about that. Or you go to a school and you want to see a lab and a classroom. You want to see modern, updated things. And so E-SPLOST, again, allows us to improve our stuff kind of on a continual motion, which I think is very important because the world's moving forward all the time. And I just want to retain great people, and I want to attract great people to White County, and I feel like the schools play a big role in that.
Yeah. I think it's very important to understand that you don't have to have a child in the school system to be concerned about what the kind of people the school system produces.
And to reap the direct benefits.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. I couldn't agree more. My children are out of school, you know, and so, but I'm very, very proud to do my part to support our school system. And I think for me, you know, a community supported me when I was growing up, and community members that didn't have children in the school supported me when I was growing up. And I appreciate that, and I've spent a professional life trying to give back in some sort of manner related to that. So I think it is very, very important to recognize we are all stakeholders in the school system, not just the moms and dads of the students, but all of us.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes. We talk about that a lot.
I tell you, Kayla, I love doing these podcasts because then I'm all pumped up about what other people are doing. I'm like, you get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Stribling, you go.
But that being said, there are a lot of people who maybe don't always, you know, understand that they reap the direct benefits of quality graduates, quality students. And there's a lot of misinformation, especially on Facebook. And people always tore up about taxes or something or another, or, you know, something to that effect. So kind of along those lines, are there like safeguards in place or things that y'all do to ensure E-SPLOST dollars are spent in the right places that they're supposed to go?
Absolutely, there are. The first thing I will tell you, just to address a couple of comments that you made there, one thing I will tell our community is hold me accountable. Hold us accountable. You know, I'm very, very proud. Our graduation rate is over 95% right now. It's higher than it ever has been. And with that being said, I think that's some return on investment for our community, myself included. I feel like that's return on investment for our community. And so there are measures in place to make sure E-SPLOST funds are spent correctly. Let's start with they have to be spent in accordance with the language on the referendum on the ballot. So the language on the referendum on the ballot outlines how those funds will be spent, and they have to be spent in that manner. So I think that that's important to recognize. And I've been in situations before where I've had to call an attorney and say, can we buy this? And they say, no, you can't.
Yeah,
I said, why? Because it's not on the referendum on the ballot, right? So it's really, that's very important. It's also important to recognize that the law determines some of the things you can spend. Like, for instance, a great example is our crisis badge alert system, that all the teachers now have badges around their neck where any teacher can push a button and call 911, basically is what that means. All the hardware for that was able to be purchased with E-SPLOST funds. All the badges themselves, the flashing lights, the repeaters that you can't see, those types of things, the hardware was able to be purchased with E-SPLOST. The subscription, you can't purchase subscriptions with E-SPLOST.
So that comes out of your general fund?
That's the monitoring component of that system comes out of the general fund. So the law dictates some of that. The other thing I will tell you is in the expenditure of E-SPLOST funds, all expenditures of E-SPLOST funds are approved by our local Board of Education.
Yes.
So those, of course, are elected officials that represent all of us that live in White County, and all of our funds are approved by them that are spent E-SPLOST funds. So I think that's another level of accountability to make certain, you know, the Board of Education represents the community. And so that is an additional layer of accountability for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, a lot of people don't understand that you said it earlier, you produce a budget that you have to put before the Board of Ed so that board can say, yes, this is appropriate funding.
Yes.
And it frees you up for your general fund for things that you're not sure. You guys are our state is facing the hardest challenge with repercussions from COVID. And those, I don't even know what the solution is to that. You guys probably do, but I don't. But I mean, that's going to take some general fund money to be able to address learning trajectories that we had no idea were going to be come out of this pandemic. We've never lived through anything like this, and so we're still, having to adjust and do for that. So I'm sure right now it's like running on quicksand trying to figure out what to do next. But I can't imagine anyone better to guide the ship as we go forward. And I'm glad
appreciate you saying that.
Glad that the E-SPLOST helps alleviate the fiscal burden of maintaining. Just like if you have to maintain your house, you have to have a budget for all the structural things you have to do. He's got it across 6 different pieces of property and school buses and transportation offices and main office. And
And I appreciate you saying that. One of the things I think that's very important for people to understand is you cannot pay salaries with E-SPLOST.
Nope.
No part
No
of
salaries.
any salary is paid with E-SPLOST funds. Everybody needs to understand that. But to speak to what you were speaking of, for instance, our general fund money, I have much more latitude with, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no E-SPLOST. There's
Very specific.
very little latitude, right? Like it's very specific for those capital asset attainment and improvement. So, for instance, in my world, you can have one student, and I will have one student that moves in over the summer that I have to hire somebody new for this one-on-one.
wow.
That will happen. And I don't even know who it is. I don't know where they're coming from. But statistics say that just seems to happen every year. That's a surprise expenditure for us, right? So we need our general fund by being able to not have the things on E-SPLOST burden the general fund. It allows us to address those very specific situations that come up that we have to be able to address.
Yeah.
And that we... when you work with children and you work with all the children, that is the greatest blessing I could ever have in my life. But with that comes surprises. And so we have to be able to address them. And some of those surprises can be very expensive. And some of them are mandates. Like it's not a do this if you would like to. It's this student requires this. This student needs this support for their learning. So we're very proud to provide the supports. But please understand that E-SPLOST, although doesn't directly fund that, allows for the funding of that while still remaining on that continuum of improvement.
It's amazing what you guys get done. Absolutely amazing. And just the needs of all the different students. It's magic what y'all do early.
Wow.
So, you're pretty sure how I'm going to vote. But if there is a business owner out there who may be on the fence about it, what would you say to that person about supporting E-SPLOST this year?
I would say that improved schools lead to improving communities, right? Improving schools lead to improving communities. And I think that for us, it is, like I said before, our role in the economic development of our community is to provide quality graduates that are ready for life after high school. And for anyone that may be on the fence by E-SPLOST, I would encourage you to think about what type of community you want to live in and what type of community you want to do business in. And in a community like ours, a one high school town, kind of a one-horse town, with that being said, a better high school, better middle school, better elementary schools, draw in better people, and retain people here to do businesses in our local businesses. And I'm very, very proud of that. And I can tell you, congratulations to you all, congratulations to our business owners. Just working here 20 years ago and coming back 20 years later, holy smokes at the
It's
difference
different.
of people that are, when I was here before, the talk was, oh my goodness, if we build the bypass to downtown, we were nervous about the downtown. Now the downtown's full.
Popping.
I go there and it's popping and people are shopping and eating.
And walking from place to place.
Right.
I know.
All of the things. And I'm so proud of our business community
And the
for
parks are
stepping
being
up
used.
to do that, and our local municipalities and county government stepping up to do that. So it's just a great, great thing. And
Makes
it's
you
great
proud
to
to
be
live
here.
here.
I'm so proud to live here. I'm very, very proud to be the superintendent of White County Schools. And it's great to get to come here today and talk to you about the benefits of E-SPLOST and how it allows us to continue to improve our school system.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Wait,
but
we have one question.
I know. That's
Okay,
what
I
I'm
was like,
getting
don't
to.
forget the
No,
last
I
one.
would never
We
forget.
had a secret question. You
No,
know.
Okay.
that's like the sneak attack. We get
All
you
right.
with every time. No, just kidding. So because it's Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks, we always ask, what is your go-to coffee order?
Oh, first of all, plain and black.
Ah,
I'm not a fancy coffee person. I like my coffee black, and I don't order fancy dancy coffees. I just get plain coffee. But I enjoy the various coffee houses we have around here,
Yep.
our various venues we have to get coffee. But plain and black is my preference. Kind of boring, maybe.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
No, that's us. We like all
We
things.
live
I
up-
always tell the story that I didn't used to like black coffee until I got to college, and when I was at UGA, it became a survival tactic, if
Yes.
you will, because somewhere on campus they were always giving out coffee. Some organization was giving it out. However, if you only drink it with a certain creamer or a certain this or a certain that,
you were.
they may not have it, but you
That's
could
right.
always find free black coffee somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Very important. I learned to drink coffee in college too, as almost a necessity, like you're talking about.
well, thank you
Amazing.
so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit and our businesses a little bit more insight into this year's E-SPLOST.
Well, thank you. It's a privilege to be here, and it's a privilege to get to serve our students.
We're excited.
Well, thank y'all so much for joining this episode of Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. Make sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music for more information on how you can grow your business and other things going on in our community. Until the next episode, we will
See ya, love ya, bye.